Hey friend, I get tons of questions from artists like yourself asking me, how do I mount my sanded paper to board? Is that something I can do myself or is it best left to professionals? Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you how to mount your sanded pastel paper to backing board on your own without the use of expensive dry mount presses. By the end of this video, you're gonna be a DIY mounting pro and your sanded paper is gonna look amazing while you paint. Better yet, it's gonna frame up easy and beautiful. Here we go. Okay, before we get into it, there's really a few reasons why it's important to mount your sanded pastel paper. First, ease of use and stability. It's so much easier to make those marks on a nice, smooth mounted sanded paper than on a buckly paper that's just kind of taped up. The second is this paper, if you start using those washes, solvent-based washes, it's gonna buckle, and mounting prevents that. It gives you a really nice stable surface to work on with those wonderful washes. The third is really ease of framing. It makes framing a breeze. You just pop that mounted board right into the frame and it looks great. So those are the real reasons why you'd want to do this. Now, there's three ways that you can mount. The first one is definitely the easiest, and that's to buy your sanded boards mounted. So companies like UART sell these mounted boards. These are UART premium mounted boards. There's other companies that make wonderful mounted boards. The good people of Dakota Pastels, they mount pretty much every kind of sanded paper. So you reach out to them and they'll mount to 4-ply, 8-ply conservation board, custom sizes, standard sizes. A great way to go. The second way you can mount is to bring it to the framer. Pay a framer to do it. Framers have wonderful heat-activated dry mount presses and they can mount those large pieces or really anything for you and it will be great. Yes, you're gonna have to shell out some money to get things mounted, but remember, you'll be in the studio painting while they're at the frame shop mounting your work. So that's worth some money right there. Third way, this way. We're gonna DIY it. We're gonna do it in the studio. So that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so let's talk about what you need to do this. You're gonna need your sanded pastel paper. So I'm using a sheet of UART 400 and it's 12 by 18. And you're gonna need a piece of backing board. This is Black Gator board. It's 3/8 inch cut. I have actually pre-cut them both, so that's one of the things you're gonna need to do. You'd of course need like a utility blade and a pencil so you can mark and make your cuts. You need a ruler and then a cutting board. And here's the key ingredient. This is the reason why you can do this in the studio. You're gonna need this 3M 568 positionable adhesive. This is the most important tool for mounting in the studio. Okay, so let's just go step by step and we'll cover this together. Okay, so step one in mounting your own boards is to cut your backing board and your paper to size so they're going to be able to mount nice and cleanly. That's the first step. And then the second step is going to be to roll out your Scotch 568. So I've got this roll. You can get them in 11-inch, 16-inch, or 24-inch rolls, 50 feet long. So you roll it out. Now you could start with the paper or the backing board. I prefer to start with the backing board because it's more rigid. And essentially, I just want to come to the corner of this exposed adhesive, place it on. I'm going to lay that down, just press in a little bit at this stage, and now I just want to trim away the adhesive. So I'll take the knife and I'll just let a little bit of extra adhesive around the edge of the board. This is the other reason I think the board is easy to start with, because I can kind of use the side of the board as my cutting edge. Otherwise, I would kind of need a ruler. We'll cut the adhesive. Now I've got a cut piece for the most part. There it goes. And you want to put away the 3M, clear your workspace. All right, so the next step, step 3, you want to flip over the gator board. And now I've got a covered piece of adhesive. Now the 3M 568 comes with this little squeegee, which is perfect. And you just have that cover. And what I want to do is squeegee firmly. I want to burnish this adhesive onto the gator board. And I just work from the center out and try to get that adhesive to uniformly adhere to the gator board. There's one side, then I'm going to flip it around. Now this adhesive is positionable, which means it's, before you tack it down like this, you can still move it around a bit. So it takes quite a bit of just smooth pressure to attach the adhesive to the board. Once you think you've got the whole adhesive covered, you'll begin to try to peel it. And you'll know real quick while peeling whether it's fully adhered. So I'm gonna just take that corner and start. It looks like I've just, if it's not fully adhered, just lay that cover sheet back down. Go a little further. And then we'll just slowly and smoothly peel off the backing of the adhesive. And we've got this uniform, smooth adhesive on the whole gator board. I find that if you just go nice and slow, it works best. And if you see a little bubble, just lay it back down, finish it off. Now, I would not describe myself as like Mr. DIY. I'd much prefer to let the professionals do most of these things. So if I can do this, you can do this. Almost there. All right. So now we've got gator board with adhesive covering the whole thing. So the next step, step 4, we're going to attach the sanded paper. This is where we just have to use a little bit of care. And this is also where that positionable aspect of the adhesive is nice, because we really can, as long as we don't push down, we can find the perfect location first and then really burnish it once we are confident we've got the right spot. Not bad. It can be nice to maybe give yourself a little extra border on either the board or the paper, so you have some wiggle room. Now, the 3M product comes with this like release paper, and it's really nice and slick, and you're going to do the same thing now, covering the sanded paper with the release paper, and you're just going to use the squeegee again and burnish this sanded paper down onto the board. Now we're really creating a permanent bond. You can get this 568 on Amazon. That's where I got it. So I would just say take your time with this. Make sure that there are no bubbles between the paper and the board. Maybe flip it around and just finish that off. And you can reuse this release paper over and over. So now I've got a beautiful mounted sanded board. Look at that. It's ready for painting, and then it's ready for framing. Little pro tip for you. I wonder if you've thought, can I mount a sanded pastel that's finished? The answer is yes, with care. Actually, I mounted one piece just last night, the little girl behind me, and the piece was finished, and I mounted it to the backing board. What you really need is an extra sheet of glassine, so when you do that final squeegee, you have glassine over it, and it's totally safe, and it's not going to wiggle. You can do it. I would much prefer that you mount before, but there have been many paintings actually that I have mounted after they were finished. Well, I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button below. Hey, you probably have some amazing pastel hacks. Maybe there's a method that you love to use for mounting paper. Leave those comments below. I'd love to learn from you. I'd love to find out how you're tackling this problem. And I would love to also provide you with a checklist that we talked about a lot here. So just click the link below for the DIY checklist for mounting your own sanded paper. So if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe so I can continue to provide you with more great video content. And hey, listen, keep painting, and I'll see you in the next video.